Hi, welcome to another edition of RV Tips and Trips. If you have one of these Anderson docking stations with the Kntleak four-way valve, then you need to see this. If you enjoy my videos or get any kind of value out of my videos, if you would hit subscribe and hit the bell icon, this way you get notified of any future videos. And now, on to our video. This is the docking station to our fifth wheel. Now this docking setup is quite popular amongst a lot of fifth wheels, where you have your tank dump valves here, your black tank flush right there, and then there's the water system on these kind of rigs are a pressurized system, not like your gravity fill on your freshwater tank on a lot of RVs. So this is quite popular with Keystone, Grand Design, Dutchman, Jayco. Most of them use this kind of setup, and they use this system with the valve. It's a four-way valve. It's by Anderson, and that's what it says right there, Anderson. And they buy this assembly, the RV companies do, and use it in part of their docking station. One of the things that nobody tells you is on this special switch, and it's called the Kntleak valve, four-way valve, is that you should never rotate this around while the system is pressurized. So before you turn this, you're supposed to turn the water supply off and bleed off the pressure, and the way you can bleed off the pressure is connect your shower hose here and just relieve the pressure in the system, then rotate the knob to the next position. Well, nobody tells you about that, and there's no cautionary here that says, hey, do not rotate valve selector switch while system is pressurized and connected to a water supply. So what happens is, after a while, you blow out the O-rings in that valve, and then it starts to leak. And this four-way valve is made by Anderson Brass Company in their Kntleak valve product lineup. It does leak. It's been dripping for quite some time. I've always rotated that switch around from city water to tank fill to the normal position under pressure, because no one ever told us anything otherwise. So if you have this system, do not turn that knob while your city water is on. So the O-rings in this have been literally destroyed. And how do you know? Well, one of the symptoms is that when you're hooked up to city water, and this is in the city position, that your freshwater tank slowly fills up over time and starts dribbling out the vent. So, which is what I noticed about a week ago happening. Now the valve doesn't work at all. If we turn on the water pump, you can hear water circulating within the valve, and the water pump continuously runs and doesn't shut down. So this needs to be replaced. Unfortunately, you're going to have to buy the new valve online, and that takes time. So I'm coming up with an alternative system, and then I'm going to order. You can actually get the guts to this valve online. It's about $35, so I think that's what I'm going to do through Amazon, and rebuild that valve. On this assembly is also a check valve. It allows flow in one direction only, and that's in and nothing back. So freshwater inlet goes to the center of that valve, and then we got to trace out the rest of those hoses. It's like a freaking bird's nest in there. You can see the water pump down there. I got to figure out which line is which and then make the connections. So before you get too far involved, I suggest you make yourself a diagram of the connections. So let's see, we got this matches up. I know it's old school, but if you try and take a picture of this, you can't see inside where those lines go. So I can, not with the camera anyway, but with the eye I can see where they go. So I said drawing a picture is good. So a lot of times I like to take a picture with the camera, but in this case I don't think that would work very well. So you just draw a diagram. Okay, so I got the part from Anderson Brass Company directly. They're the manufacturer of this. It's basically a four-way valve. And I paid $36 and some change for it, and that included shipping. So not too bad. The part comes pre-lubricated and comes with an Allen key too, so you can undo the set screw there. So let's go ahead and open it. Like I said, it is pre-lubricated, and I see in the instructions that if you use a petroleum-based lubricant on these O-rings, you can actually ruin the O-rings with that. You're supposed to use a special lubricant by Dow Corning. So, looks more like petroleum jelly to me, but that's the way it is. So there's a new screw that goes down in the center of the lever, and let's see, do that so we can pull the old one out. Undo the set screw. Don't lose it, because I don't think it came with the new set screw. And then we can twist this on out. And there's the old valve. It's too bad they don't sell the O-rings, because that's all that's wrong with this part, is the O-rings they wear. But alright, so the only way to get the O-rings was to buy the whole internal workings of this. Alright, so now we're going to put this all together. This is, I mean, it's simple, but I tell you, when these things go bad, it's a pain. Now, we couldn't use the Amazon ship. They did offer the part in Amazon, but it still came directly from the manufacturer. And so since it was coming from the manufacturer, they don't have access to shipping it to the lockers, the Amazon lockers. Alright, so you can see this is lubricated pretty good. So, alright, so now that we got this pulled out, we'll remove the handle, the screw, and then it'll reveal a spring in this plate. So I'm going to try and handle that the least amount. Okay, so put the plate back on there. Alright, so you'll notice there's a solid point there. This opening is not an opening, but there is one there, and this is solid and that's solid. So this point right here, it's got the open spot. That's going to face down. We're going to put the handle on here temporarily with the pointer facing down to that open spot. Temporarily put this screw in to hold it. Okay. Now normally this would be inside the docking station, and it sits in the docking station. Let's go this way. The port that's on the bottom faces down. So when we're going to put this in, kind of rotate it in. That's all the way in. Want the handle pointing down, this facing down to where that port is there, which is in the city water position. Well, we'll go ahead and remove the handle. Pull that off. Alright, so that's seated all the way in. Let's get the set screw part way in. Be careful not to cross thread this, because the screw threads into the housing. And if you mess up this hole, now the housing will be no good. So we're just gonna put this in part way. This is the raised part of this spanner nut. It's not even a nut, it's a washer. It has a locator tab on it. So there's a little notch down in the body of this that locator tab needs to go to. And just drop that in. Now I'll put the spring in. And then line these tabs up, push in, rotate clockwise. That's all the way in. Tighten the set screw. I mean, it's simple. Don't over tighten this set screw, you'll strip it. And that could be a problem. Just snug enough to keep that from moving. Alright, so it's all back together. Just remember this location, this faces down. And now it's time to reinstall this back into the box, into the docking station. So, pretty simple job. Not bad. Alright, so I've reinstalled the valve back onto the panel. And got to make sure that, number one, the handle is facing down, and that this port here is facing down. So there were 2 locator tabs on here, which help keep that from moving around. Screw that down, and it's all snug, ready to all go back together. Like I said, not too bad. This wasn't difficult. I jerry-rigged the system. You can see the water pump is connected directly to the line from the freshwater tank. I've been jerry-rigging this for quite some time. This is where the city water goes in. This is my valve. I bought fittings and stuff. Found that when I ran that pump, that water pumped out through here, so that's why I put this valve on here and closed that off. So, gosh, we kind of limped along with this, and anytime I had to fill the tank, I had to manually connect the freshwater line to the freshwater line that goes to the tank. A little bit of a pain, wasn't too bad, got us through. God, it was almost 2 months this happened, that this valve went bad. So, but now I finally got the part. And so now I'm going to put it all back together, and hopefully it don't leak. Okay, so now that it's all back together, it's been working beautifully. I did this repair about 6 weeks ago, and it's been working perfectly. The biggest thing about these setups, and nobody tells you, I mean, when I took delivery on this, I was not familiar with these docking stations at all, and they did not mention that the system could not be pressurized before rotating that valve. So just remember to shut off the water supply going to the system and depressurize it by releasing the pressure with the shower setup. And once the pressure is relieved, then you can rotate the knob and not have to worry about destroying the valve. Okay, until next time, happy camping. Bye. Thomas says thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like and share. Until next time, happy camping.